Hello, my name is Jenna Smith, and today I will be talking about why euthanasia and assisted suicide should remain illegal. Euthanasia is the process of killing someone who suffers from an incurable disease. This controversial topic has been debated for decades and raises a lot of issues for physicians as well as patients, family members, and society. Those who are in favor of euthanasia say that because it is medically done, it is not considered to be suicide. However, any process that prematurely and deliberately ends one's life is always suicide, no matter the motivation. Euthanasia, although intended only for the purpose of killing someone who is incurable and suffering from a disease, also causes an increase of suicides and suicidal behavior across the country. This is known as suicide contagion. This term was first described in the 1970s, and from research that has been gathered, it is shown that attempted suicides usually have a large number of suicidal friends. This result might indicate that persons imitate their friends' suicides or suicidal behavior, or that suicide-prone persons select each other as friends. This explains that after one suicide, a society is likely to witness a larger amount of suicides. This research was confirmed by the Oregon Public Health Division by data that they collected in 2016. In 1997, Oregon passed a law called Oregon's Death with Dignity Act. This allowed for physicians to practice euthanasia on terminally ill adults. Since the law was passed in 1997, a total of 1,545 people have had prescriptions written under that act, and 991 patients have died from ingesting the medications. From 1998 to 2013, the number of prescriptions written annually increased at an average of 12.1%. However, during 2014 and 2015, the number of prescriptions written increased by an average of 24.4%. In that time, in just 2 years, the number of people who sought the prescriptions of medication doubled, and the deaths increased as well because of that. There have also been many Supreme Court cases that have fought for the legalization of euthanasia, but have not passed because of the 14th Amendment, which does not allow any person to take away someone else's life, liberty, or property. For example, one case is Vacco versus Quill. In this case, physicians and a couple of terminally ill patients fought against New York's assisted suicide ban with the argument that it violated the 14th Amendment. However, the court disagreed and held that New York's ban was rationally related to the state's legitimate interest in protecting medical ethics, preventing euthanasia, shielding the disabled and terminally ill from prejudice which might encourage them to end their lives, and above all, the preservation of human life. No matter how noble a physician's motives may be, he may not deliberately cause, hasten, or aid a patient's death. In a similar case, Washington versus Glucksberg, the court held that the right to assisted suicide is not a fundamental liberty interest protected by the Due Process Clause, since its practice has been and continues to be offensive to our national traditions and practices. The final thing that I would like to discuss is if euthanasia is legalized, what are the restrictions? For example, Belgium was the first country to eliminate any age requirement. Since 2002, Belgium has had legislation permitting euthanasia for patients over the age of 18 who were terminally ill. In December 2013, the Belgium Senate and Chamber of Representatives voted in favor of extending the legalization to minors, making it the first euthanasia legislation in the world that did not specify an age limit. Even though the conditions of this law are more restrictive, it is scary that children are given access to assisted suicide by a medical professional. These children will be affected immensely because they would be experiencing pressure from parents, feel a great deal of guilt because their parents can't bear the situation they are in any longer, and are weighed down with the decision concerning life or death. No minor should have that option in their life. This argument concerning legalization of euthanasia and assisted suicide will always be a topic that is strongly debated across the world. However, it is important to remember that euthanasia is the act of killing someone. Whether it is performed by a medical professional or is the act of killing oneself, it is the same. It is all considered suicide.